Welcome to the show, everyone. We have been having fun before the show, even here. We've been doing that lately now. You know, I made it possible for everybody to talk about themselves right here on my show. And we're going to go into networking right away. I have with me Howard Farkash, and he usually has with him Havie, but Havie's in the hospital. He's having a little elective surgery going on right now. But he also has with him that he has brought Kayla Haas, if I said it? Haas.
Yes.
Haas. And welcome to the show. Tell everybody, I love when you come on my show, okay? Because if it's Thursday, the first Thursday of every month at 12 o'clock, it's usually the Havie and Howie show. So welcome to the show, Howard. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, and why you brought Kayla.
Sure. Well, I always refer to myself as the better half of Havie and Howie, but that's a personal issue. Anyway, the long and short of it is I've been doing life and health insurance, long-term care, and disability income for about 20 years now here in the Valley. Did a little bit of it back in the Midwest several years before that. It's important that I do go into what I call a benediction. It's not really a benediction, but it's really more of a disclaimer. And that disclaimer tells us that I need to say that all of our conversation today is for general education purposes only, and it's not intended as advice, recommendations, or an offer to place any insurance or financial products. As an insurance agency, Bravo Insurance is involved with many aspects of financial services, including business lending, debt management, tax incentives for business owners, and many types of insurances for those business owners, their employees, and individuals. Before we give any specific recommendations, it's important for us to understand your goals and your present financial situations. Then we can make the right recommendations and come up with the proper decisions. So that wraps up the benediction, as it were.
And it's important for you to do that because, you know, we always want to make sure that everybody's covered when we're doing these kinds of things. Kayla, it's so nice to have met you, okay? You are the Regional Sales Director
Yes.
of United Life Insurance. Welcome to the show. Tell
you.
everybody a little bit about what you're going to do here, what we're going to talk about.
Sure. So nice to meet you as well, Carol and Howard. It's always great to see you. Sending our best to Havie.
Absolutely.
Havie's in recovery. He sent me a picture of himself already. That's kind of sense of humor he has. So he's a part of the show, even though he's not here. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. My name is Kayla Haas, as Carol mentioned, and I am the Regional Sales Director, what some people call a wholesaler for United Life. I am a local here in Phoenix. I've been in the Valley about 20 years now, and been in insurance services in some way, shape, or form for about 15 years. So,
That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like a very short period of time when you love what you do and you
Sure.
love helping people. So
And you know what? In this area, so many people need this. Some people don't. They put their heads in the sands with this kind of thing. How
Sure.
long have you been here now with United Life Insurance?
going on a year and a half, but I love it. It's just such a nice company based out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Good Midwest people, and I'm originally from Minnesota, so I just fit right in. United Life is very advisor and client focused, so very personalized service. You can get a real person when you call the main office, and we're going to help you instead of put you into a voicemail or something like that. So that's really what the unique contact is for United Life.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Okay, you have her with your offices. I'm taking away from this a little bit right
Sure.
now. I want to talk a little bit about your firm, okay, and the way it is a boutique firm that you can help people in all areas of insurance.
In all areas of insurance and also into other areas, as I mentioned, such things as debt management, such things as loans. We do business loaning as far as that's concerned, just as well as our insurance practice. But focusing on the insurance, what we work in the areas of life insurance, health insurance, disability income, Medicare, and also cash value life insurance as supplemental retirement plans.
Life insurance, so
Sure.
important, right? And we were talking a little bit about, somebody was on with me before talking about documents, right, and certain things that people should have. And one of the things that she talked about was life insurance and how so important it was for everybody to have a life insurance policy.
Well, so it is basically, and that's one of the problems that we have as a country. Quite candidly, we're very much underinsured as a country. Wouldn't you find that to be the same?
Yes, yeah, I constantly see statistics and talk to people that have little to no insurance, and so I'd like to help in my advisor teams get some coverage for them, even if it's just a small amount and we're working with someone's budget. I think it's really important for everyone to have something for that day
Right.
and to back up their family.
Sure, and that's our philosophy just as well. Something is better than nothing, basically.
Right,
You
you've
don't
said
have-
that before.
Right, and that's very, very important, because you can always get more later on, but you better have something when you're first starting out in the beginning. You build a portfolio based upon your budget, and we
Now-
ask those kind of questions. What is your budget? How much money do you have to spend on this? We don't try to overload with people, because they're gonna drop it. We know they'll drop it, okay? So we build instead of drop.
Can I tell you what I did?
Tell me.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you know, because I know you guys are so busy over there. I worked with Havie, and I got my own through you.
Yes.
Or you know,
Well, I
you know
do
that?
know that you all work together. I don't
You
have the
did?
details.
Yeah.
Of it.
Well, what did you say beforehand? A little something is better than nothing.
Well, good. I'm
Right?
glad you got something
And
going.
something going is better than nothing. And I also now, I want to talk about how I feel now that I've had the pleasure of working, obviously, with both of you, but now actually even doing something. What a wonderful feeling, number one, that I have a little bit of peace of mind.
Well, as you well know, insurance is very, very personal. You don't park it in front of your house, okay? It's not a car that you can brag about. It's something that you're doing for yourself and something that you're doing for your family, basically. I've often said people get life insurance because they either owe somebody very much or they love somebody very much. But with living benefits, they also love themselves because they're going to be able to take care of themselves if bad things happen. Our motto is making things better when things go bad.
Right, but also, what do you want? You want a casserole or you want a check?
Yes, of course.
I love that
Yes,
one.
of course.
Okay, so Kayla, let me ask you something. What
Sure.
makes United Life different than some of the other ones out there?
Certainly. United Life has some unique products that we can help with solutions for, say, smaller face values. We can help into the older ages. We have one whole life product that goes to age 90. And so we also have some customizable riders. Like, for example, there's a qualified care rider, which acts much like a long-term care rider. So you can utilize those funds if for some reason you became cognitively impaired, you have to go into a care facility and help to alleviate some of those costs. There's also a disability income rider. So if someone were to become disabled, they would be able to get money to pay bills, to put food on the table, something like that. And so those are really important aspects and complements to a typical insurance policy. And I think it's important for people to know that those benefits are available to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have a little bit of an older clientele that listens to us.
Watch
you
out.
know? I have said this to you before too, especially when Havie is here, that the two of you complement each other. I have to say, Howard, you are a little bit of the older of the two, but the thing is, what I want to bring that to everybody's attention to is it's nice to be able to have somebody that can relate to you out there.
Well, surely, I've been there, as you might say. Just to clear the matters up here, I predate the boomer generation, so you all figure it out, basically.
Right.
They say I'm the silent generation. Not too silent.
He's not that silent.
Right, but that's a totally
Might be
different story.
atypical, but he is not that silent.
Right, and so our insurance obviously applies at all generations. You need it when you're young to protect your family. You need it when you're older to serve as a source of supplemental income in your financial plan, basically.
Let me get some information out about you, okay? First of all, I know that when you work with people, you do free consultations.
Absolutely.
I had
The
mine.
only way to do it.
And let me just tell you, it's not just a conversation on the phone. Okay, because Javi gets to know, well, Javi got to know me
Sure.
and really got to know me, asked me lots and lots of questions. I love the way he writes every little thing down. He remembers everything. He doesn't forget a thing. Their phone number to call, it's 480-316-7862. Operators are always standing by. That's 480-316-7862. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further.
Sounds great. Thank you. Want to shed as much light as possible on Kayla.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
That's important.
Okay, and so that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about the product, right, and what
Yeah.
you wanted to say.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of interjecting here a little
No,
bits
that's
here
okay.
and there.
You keep
okay?
it flowing.
Probably,
Yeah.
yes.
I just want to make sure where I see where I'm at here. So, you talked a little tiny bit about we can go back now into the importance of it, okay?
Okay.
Bringing that back.
Sure.
And now, you talked a little bit about some of the differences. Hold on 1 minute here. You might want to bring back some of these that you might have missed. I'm not sure. There's a lot of them
You're
here.
reading some, we modified that score a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's slightly modified.
Okay.
We might go back and I'd like to re-inject, I'd like to bring to the table it's not a GoFundMe page, it's more than a GoFundMe page, it's more than a car wash when someone passes away.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask a favor, if you could refrain from banging on the table. No, it's okay,
Sorry.
it's subconscious,
Yes.
it comes out over your
Thunder.
microphone.
You should see what some of my guests do when they're
Okay.
wearing jewelry too.
Okay.
I
It's
just
great.
took off a bracelet because I could hear it.
I do it all the
Okay.
time.
And
It's okay.
I can't hear so well myself.
No, and also I want you
Okay.
to try and make sure you direct your
Yeah, I
fist
do
there.
know that.
Okay,
We want to talk that it's more than a, I gotta find those
Where
phrases.
was that? It's
I
right.
just saw it a second ago. Right here. It's here, right here.
Yep.
That's where I was saying.
That's what you wrote. What page is it? Top of the page? What's on the top of the page?
This one here, bases, progressing through.
Okay, got it. Okay, oh, here we go.
So
Yeah.
what I was gonna
Okay,
do is
yeah, I got
actually
it.
open
Okay.
up with that.
We're cool. We're cool.
And then have you go, okay. That's when I said it's the importance, that's what I said, it's important
Right.
because,
Sure.
okay? And
Doesn't
then you're
matter. You
gonna
can say it
that.
again. They already forgot about it, so repetition's not so bad.
Nope, not wonderful. Mm-hmm.
You can talk about your A rating if you want to.
Certainly.
Yeah, you got all the, you got
It
good
goes
stuff.
by like that.
Yeah.
You
It
can
is
come on
fast,
for
I
an
like
hour.
it.
Yes.
Mhm. But I kinda make it a
Well,
little
you did-
different.
I'm glad you're not taking it right off of this. Thank you.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't.
That's what I was practicing with my boyfriend, and I was like trying to go off script, and he's like, "You can't go off script." I'm like, "I know,
But
but
you
I'm-"
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, you go off script.
I know.
Completely. No
I
script is
appreciate
better
that.
than
I appreciate that very much. So, and I talk about this all day long, so it's
Mhm.
okay.
It's what you do.
Yep.
Let me ask you something on here. Let's say I was to get a. So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show afterwards. You can also check them out on their Facebook page, which is Bravo Insurance Agency, LLC. Check them out there. You've been doing this forever. I mean, just forever. But, well, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant that in a good way.
Dangerous lady.
But I want to talk a little about the importance of all of this. Kayla, I know we all know it's important, but a lot of us, for some reason, we'll put our heads in the sand for things, right, like this,
Sure.
or I guess sometimes they think that it's a money issue. I don't understand it. Go ahead.
Of course, with life insurance and insurance in general, especially into getting life insurance, you're never going to be younger or healthier than you are today. So it's important to take a look, to talk to an advisor, look at your options. I mean, I get asked for, people can only spend, this much a month, and I can work backwards and find them some sort of coverage.
Mhm.
Because what breaks my heart is when I go to look on a social media site and there is a GoFundMe car wash or a GoFundMe funeral because someone has passed away unexpectedly. And that and that could have been prevented, and there could have been some tax-free money there for that person's family if they, if they just took that next step and moved it up on the to-do list.
You want to think, I was just thinking in my mind what I think would be a great gift to give to somebody, a life insurance policy.
And quite often people do that.
Do they?
Sure, sometimes.
I only wish my grandmother or grandfather did that, something like that. Did my
And-
mom and dad too.
And quite often it is the parent or grandparent generation
Right.
that does that, because they recognize that if something happens to one of the parents of their grandchildren, that's going to throw their grandchildren into a dither, as it were.
Well, you can check them out on Facebook. Also, you can call them directly. They work with everyone they're just going to do a conversation with you. It's a consultation, no obligation for you, but they get to know you deep, which is what I love about them. Their phone number is area code 480-316-7862. So, talking more about this, okay? Obviously, it is a very serious conversation, but when you work with people, I gotta say, you do make it pretty fun.
I try.
You really, really
Maybe I'm
do.
just a frustrated comedian. Who knows?
No, I think what it is that but when you make it funny, it's almost it's serious funny
But it's
because
appropriate.
I
It's
mean, like when you
appropriate.
bring in the fact that you want a casserole or a check,
Yeah.
how obvious is that?
And let me tell you, it's not X-rated. It's all very above board.
No,
Absolutely.
it's absolutely. Well, we should
Surely.
get that out too. So, okay, you work with people. So many people that you work with, when they have a budget, let's say, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how much money you have. They really should just sit down and talk to you.
Yes, we have plans that I've gotten the premium pricing way down into the teens. So people have a common misconception that life insurance is going to cost too much. It's out of range for them. But if, depending on what age they're at and where their health is, we can really work with planning and a lower face value. Our term insurance, for example, goes down to $25,000. So most carriers are going to have 100,000 or greater, which makes it more expensive. So really, the lower face term, we can just start clients at a starting point to start to build some of that insurance and put that protection into place.
So what I think too, besides money, okay, obviously it's going to cost some money, but I think also their health. There were a lot of people think, oh, you know what, I'll never get that because I'm on such and such medication, let's say, right?
Sure.
Or maybe I'm older, I'm not going to get that. It's not worth it for me to do, or whatever. I don't know. What do you find?
That's a great question. I get that all the time. The three most common health conditions that I come across in the life insurance world: diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Everybody's got it.
I once heard it referred to as the American trifecta. So,
It is.
We are able to work with those ailments, and what I encourage the person to ask their advisor, and they can come to me. They can go directly to my company, and we can really find out even before putting in an application, and make sure that you don't get that disappointment of a decline.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's very important. As consultants to individuals, as advisors to individuals, when we quote a policy, basically, we ask the questions up front first so that we don't underquote, okay? There's nothing worse than giving a teaser rate, basically. Nothing worse than telling somebody it'll cost $20 a month and then coming back after it's gone through underwriting and it's $50 a month, okay?
Right.
So no teaser rates from us. We give you the rate after checking with the underwriting at United Life.
Question about COVID. It's the buzzword of the day,
Sure.
all day long, right?
Sure.
And so what about that? How does that interfere at all with people's health and their health insurance?
That's a great question. For working with life products in these new times, we have some temporary underwriting changes that have taken place. If clients are severely health impacted, what we call a table, then if they're above a table 4, which is still, good wide range in there, we're going to have to wait on doing their case. If they are over the age of 71, we are not requesting the medical exams, but we are instead maybe requesting a doctor's record if something comes up on their normal automatic reports. Does not mean we can't do the case. I helped with one this morning on an 84-year-old. So it really just means sometimes we need to gather more information, and they're still able to insure. And they'll fill out a COVID questionnaire with their application that will just ask them 3 simple questions: if they've had it, if they've been tested for it, or if they were told to be tested for it. And even if the answer to one of those is yes, the first and second of those, they can still move forward with the insurance. We just need to make sure that their health is clear.
And from our perspective, on the street, as they say, we are coronavirus free, basically. What we mean by that is we don't have to come into your house. We don't have to invade your space.
Yes.
We do an awful lot by either Zoom or handheld telephone, visual telephone calls. So we get a lot of the work done electronically as opposed to subjecting you to some sort of risk.
Their phone number is 480-316-7862. They have operators standing by at all time. I guess Havie wasn't able to call in. I think he was going to try.
I think when
He's under sedation.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. He was probably just ready to go through his procedure.
Yeah, I bet you anything he came out and the doctors probably said, Havie, come on.
Right.
More than likely. Again, that number is 480-316-7862. We were talking earlier about how many people even have life insurance, and you say you care. Carol, there's a lot of people here. I mean, the statistics are very low.
Yeah, I saw one a few days ago that 40% of people have no coverage whatsoever, and some people have some through work. But think about how often people change jobs.
Sure.
So it's really good to have some personal coverage in place to solidify that.
Absolutely, and that work policy, besides not going with you, it's often very, very much just a single multiplier of your earnings, basically, which is not enough to do very, very much for your family after you've gone, basically. So I think it's also important that the ladies be the generators here, basically, and that they encourage their spouses or their spouses
Women
to do
are
this.
always a catalyst
Yes, the generators.
of everything,
Exactly.
right? They are, totally are.
And just remember this, nobody has ever said, Dad bought too much life insurance.
Never, ever.
Exactly.
And it's always nice to have something. Honestly, I just did it with them. When I was talking to you, we were talking about some of the other different products also. But right away, I thought to myself, I'm a single mother, right? I don't have the kind of money that, some other people might have. I wanted to make sure I was protected, my kids were protected.
And you have a living benefit policy,
I
which
did,
means
that's what I
you
did.
can get some benefit without having to die. It's not
Right.
just for your kids; it's for yourself.
Exactly.
And you might need care as you grow older.
And I was talking to a friend of mine about it also yesterday. It was her birthday, and I was telling her what I did. And she was like, you know what, that's a good idea.
So we better get that phone number, huh?
Well, let me give out yours right now. That number to call them direct, it's 480-316-7862. Kayla, what would be your final words today?
I am excited to be here and really appreciate your guys' time. There is, United Life is a great place to work with, and I also encourage you to work with the Bravo agency throughout all different states and levels of budget. They are really important and have helpful.
I think you said it all.
The number to call them is 480-316-7862. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.